And so this has been an amazing thing that just started a few months ago. And Dr. Iwata told me that he just couldn't believe that in the last 7, 8 months we have come up so far and have done so many things that the way things move. And if you look at, as I was saying, if you look at this slide, so with all that early conception work that went on at APO in Hyderabad with Dr. Kumar's effort, we pulled the international consultants and so-called the best brains of from Envision research from around the world. That included Alfred Summer to Hugh Taylor and India was represented, or Asia was represented by one of my favorite, Dr. Nagarao from LV Prasad. So, and Subho, please thank Dr. for sending you here and being part of it. So I'm so glad that he's constantly represented in every meeting that we do. So they all came up with a special mandate, and one of the key outcome was that they said NEI was in a unique position to actually, in terms of its status and the work we do, plus the amount of money that goes into eye research. So all that has led to creating directions, and so they all said that we should be looking at the next generation of eye disease research and identify unique opportunities and unique individuals, families who have particular eye diseases. So the lack of terminology at that time, we called it gene prospecting and environmental factors. So that's something Al Summer from Hopkins he came up with, and we created two phase work. One is working with established and interested partners. So look at the term interested partners. I enjoy doing business with the people who are responsive and who are interested in doing business. See, there's no fun in chasing after the people who are not interested in doing business. So that really leads to frustration. So working with established people who are working in the field and have access to unique gene pools around the world. And obviously, India and Asia has one of the best opportunity. And then, in grand scheme of things, studying the biology of eye diseases in selected and unique population to further and advance science. And Dr. Iwata will actually elaborate on that. And then after that, as I was telling you earlier in the introduction, that in April 2014, last year, at the World Ophthalmology Congress, we had a signing of collaborative research agreement with the National Institute of Sensory Organs at the Tokyo Medical Center. And result, at ARVO in Orlando, we launched the Asian Eye Genetics Consortium. This was blessed by our board of directors, and we did an Asia launch in Colombo at the SARC South meeting. And now we are here. So here's some, and several of you are sitting here in this room who have been part of from early conception. So the first one is obviously the signing at the World Ophthalmology Congress at NISO and NEI. The second picture in the middle is the ARVO launch of AGC, and the last one in the corner is the SARC Nation SAO launch of Asia portion of AGC. And this story moves on. There have been recruitment of members, office members, and so on. And now we are looking into databases. So everything takes its time, and it's a global effort. And we are operating out of various places around the world, which is just becoming easier and easier now that we can all meet at several places. So our next stop is Yokohama, and there's a special SIG session. And then, of course, at ARVO in Denver. Let's look at the goals of this. Obviously, the number one goal is to sharing genetic information in the Asian population, okay, for rapidly isolating, common disease-associated variants. And some of you who are very actively hands-on in research in the lab. I know you are very passionate about these things. We saw the passionate plea and story how Dr. Sundar presented it a couple days ago. He was so passionate, and I just loved his passion and vision, how he presented it. So, you can never forget those things when people are so passionate about what they do. And then establishing, obviously accurate diagnosis and grouping of Asian eye diseases by finding biomarkers and so on, and you'll hear more about the science part of it. And then obviously it all needs to be in a cost-effective manner so that it's affordable. The number 4 is developing research-oriented database, and some efforts have already gone into this. There was this meeting in just about a month and a half ago at NEI. Dr. Kumar brought a delegation of folks from India, and we started that discussion already. And the second phase of this discussion will take place immediately after, the day after the Asia Arvo at NISO in Dr. Iwara's chairmanship. So hopefully we'll reach a database, identify a database where all of you can plug in at some point somehow. So look forward to that in the next few months and a year or so. And then supporting the collaboration, fostering collaboration among the Asian countries. So this has already begun. Several of you have already connected. Some places here in India, they already are connected, and they are already transferring and sending samples, information, data, visits, and so on. So the work has already begun, and some of you may have thought that we all we are doing is just a talk around in various places, but that's really not true. If you look into detail, and it will be up to the Secretary General to actually communicate and make a list of things that have already happened and happening, so that most of the members, they are aware of that. And I believe these collaborations have already started. Chitrakoot is working with some folks. Some MOUs have been signed. Amritsar, Dr. Vanita's lab has already started work with Shroff Eye Hospital. So these are really the good milestones that we have achieved just in last few months. And sixth one is collaborating with other international or regional organizations. So this will all come in the future as we move forward from Asian Eye Genetics Consortium to more of the global vision. And then the last one is, it all needs to be communicated through various means, whether conferences, website, and or newsletter or something of that sort. And that's all in development. And who could be a better person to actually do that than our own Dr. Natarajan? So thank you, Dr. Natarajan, for being and taking that responsibility. And the plans, if you look at creating and building partnership, so that's all, various sorts of partnership that are being created right now, for some formal, some informal, and some to become formal later. Collaborative publications, you'll hear more, perhaps Dr. Natarajan can talk about it. And then the website is already there, it just needs to be populated, and it will be all run from Dr. Iwara's lab. And we already talked about database. It all leads to functional studies for therapeutics development. And then ultimate goal is to provide the best available information or treatment possibilities to our patients. Here is the current membership. If you look at as of just a couple days ago, there are 66, and it's no surprise that India and Japan mainly are leading the pack. And there are just a few of us from the US. So you guys are way ahead. My kudos to Japan and India. Some more meetings. There are some big plans to have not only at Arvo, but beyond Arvo. And Dr. Iwara is going to be leading the Japanese effort for ICER meeting. And some of you who are planning to be in Tokyo, I believe is the same venue as the WOC in Tokyo, and September of next year. So please make sure that you let us know so that we can include you some of the communique. Let's look at this slide, which is essentially conveys the grand theme of iGenetics Consortium. And if you look at the left here, and the rest of it we've kind of touched upon, but the corner portion here, which is let's see if I can, right here. The grand goal is to create a global iGenetics consortium. And Asia is essentially the first. You guys are running the pilot, and hopefully we'll have some lessons learned. The next stop we are looking at will be an just amazing gene pool and population in Africa. Some of you have already volunteered to champion that cause. We have very interested members from South America who are interested in taking it next step. And Europe, of course, but you are leading the pack, and you will be actually creating have already created the history. So I always like to include some NIH information and encourage people from around the world and emphasize that our grants and budget process does not discriminate between anyone and everyone, anywhere place in the world can literally apply for NIH programs. And just this year alone, we have close to $460 million that will be given outside to the PI investigators in all areas of eye research. So make sure you take a look at it. And the second piece here is the last one is that there are some expected the peculiarities and things that are needed from foreign applicants. If you're doing that, make sure that you take a look at what's expected and needed. You'll have to contact and work with your embassy because they communicate very closely. And a couple days ago when we met for this for the evening for the AEGC, we had our U.S. Embassy NIH person Nandita Chopra. She's based here, and she was here. She spoke a little bit about So please feel free to get in touch with her. And I encourage all of you to actually bring your ideas and work with us at a global level. So I'm going to leave this here at this point, and with the motto that good eye research anywhere is good eye research everywhere. The answers can come from anywhere, whether it's in Chennai or Chitrakoot or in Madurai or in Bethesda, Maryland, Delhi, Green Park area, whatever that is called. So this all benefits everyone around the world. So I'm going to stop here.